a lot of people, they can't even begin to dream, you know, because they have no money, you know, they don't have the support, they don't know where to start, they don't even know what to do, you know. So we created Māori Motivation so that we could, so people could use it as a vehicle to chase their dream. I remember the exact moment that I realised I'd thrown my life away, like from sports and that. I was sitting there in 2015, sitting on the couch by myself in the lounge, and I was watching the grand final, Cowboys versus Broncos, and it was the one where Jonathan Thurston, he missed that last kick and then they had to go into overtime. They scored a miraculous try. And when he was holding the trophy and he was doing his speeches and that after the match, I just remember saying to myself, I just had this overwhelming feeling of like, right. And I said out loud, and there was no one there, and I said out loud, I will never ever experience in this lifetime what that man is feeling right now. I will never have that feeling, yeah. Because I own Team Mana Supplies, which is a printing company, one of our customers, we actually sponsor a lot of sports teams through that business. And someone came in, and I can't remember the story exactly, but it went something along the lines of, this kid made the team, he told his parents that he didn't make the team, and he told his coach something completely different, like he had other commitments or something like that. And it turned out he didn't want to put the financial burden on his parents. That's why he didn't play in the team. You know, and of course once the management and that found out, they got him behind him and said, nah, come on, like we'll help you out. That happened to me, like I've done that before. Like, so I knew exactly what he was talking about, yeah. So I've had the pleasure of knowing what it's like to not put the burden on your parents, but I've also experienced the other side of that as a parent, not being able to even afford $20 for sports fees. 2017 we moved down from Kaikoura to Christchurch after the Kaikoura earthquake. We left our jobs, moved down because the kids were traumatised, and they couldn't function, man. It was real weird, eh? They couldn't leave your side. Like they were right there all day, all night, and then they couldn't sleep. And so we decided to leave and move down here, lived with my dad for a couple months, and then we rented a house with my brother. I was unemployed. I was unemployed for that time, almost the whole year, I think. And I was just a stay-at-home dad. My son, he's always been an athlete, eh? Like, he was real good at soccer and he wanted to play soccer. And we couldn't afford the school fees and the sports fees. And so he's like, oh Dad, like, we've got to go to the bus, catching the bus to the soccer game today, but I need $20 because that's what it costs, you know. And we had no money. So we scrounged up some money for him, gave him the $20. He went to school all happy thinking he's going to play, and the school took that money off him, didn't give it to the sports, they put it on their school fees. And so Kitty and I went in there to meet with him. He was heartbroken, you know, couldn't play. He was paying the price for our failures, you know, and it didn't sit well with me, eh? And then, so went in, and I sat there like a little coward, you know, because I was unemployed. I had no confidence, I had no self-worth, I guess, you know. I was just like a beaten down man. I felt like a little mouse, bro, while Kitty was fighting for him, and I was just sitting there, because I wasn't contributing to the house or anything like that. Yeah, I just felt worthless, you know, and I just sat there quietly, didn't say anything, walked out. And when I walked out, I said to myself, I was like, this is never going to happen to me ever again, you know. And then luckily it hasn't. You know, this time I was true to my word, yeah. And then we went out and just grinded like crazy, yeah. And here we are. The goal is to have 100 athletes a year, or under the banner per year, so that when an athlete does make it, like, because we're the, if you think of us as the bridge between amateur and professional, if we can support the child going through that journey to be getting picked up by those big companies to get those contracts, then they'd leave our brand and go with them, say Nike or Adidas or something like that, and then which would open up a space for someone else to come on, you know. And it's just a continuous cycle. We'll always have 100 athletes under the banner of Māori Motivation. Like, the kids aren't under a contract, they're not signed up for anything with us. It's just the memorandum of understanding that we're like, this is what we're going to offer you, and all we ask of you is to just do your best, you know. Just go all in, give it everything you've got, and we'll be there with you all the way. Māori Motivation is not funded by anybody. We have a merch line. We make sales with that. We pay the cost of what the merch costs, and then the profits of that goes towards the kids. If you were to go down the funding road, the money's already allocated, so I could only apply for certain things, and that makes sense, like a pair of running shoes or sports fees or something like that. But if they don't have a strong foundation at home, he might not be able to get to training, you know. Like, with funding you might not be able to flick him some petrol money, but having this as a personal brand or personal business, I can move as fast as I want. It just gives us a lot more freedom. If you're thinking about a dream and getting from A to B, like, if a kid has this dream to become a superstar, it's not a straight line. If you head to the website, we'll have a criteria on there of what we're looking for as an athlete. Character is the biggest one. We're looking for someone who has an amazing character, unquestionable, they know what's right and wrong, they're not going to act like a spoiled little brat. If we're talking about a tennis player, he's not the kid throwing his racket on the ground, or he's not the kid walking away when he lost, they're not shaking hands. Like, we're not looking for that. They have to know what they want, like, they have to know. You cannot do anything without knowing where you're going. So if you know what you want, a pathway can be made. It can be made that way. But if you don't know what you want, we can't help you. Say you wanted to become an All Black. Like, that's an awesome goal. Like, that's an awesome goal. But what kind of All Black do you want to be? Like, do you want to be the greatest All Black that ever lived? Do you want to be the All Black with the most tries, or something like that? Like, because if you just say if you want to be an All Black, that's cool. But you could be on the bench, like, the whole career of your All Black career, you know, and then you end up overseas, which is fine, you know. It's still an amazing achievement. But we're looking for specifics. Like, you want to go to the NBA? Do you want to be, who do you want to play for? Do you want to play for the Lakers or someone like that, you know? Like, really get in there and tell us really what you want, because it gives us an understanding of how clear you are. And the clearer you are, the easier it is to get there. So you've got to have character, you've got to know what you want, you've got to be able to work your ass off, like, already working. Are you already sacrificing for it? Because if you're not, there are kids out there that are actually out there grinding already. Like, if you look at the kids that we already have, they have already done this stuff. Like, they're not in it for fun. Like, they're doing it because they want to do it for the rest of their lives. My son here has a goal of being world #1, you know, like the greatest tennis player ever. That's a hard goal. like that's a scary goal, man. Like, you're not just going to wake up and that's going to happen. You know, you got to grind for that. You got to sacrifice for that. You got to, you know, when your friends are out drinking, you can't do that. Yeah, those are the kind of kids we're looking for, you know, and they are out there because we have some of them. Yeah, so we're going to put the call out to the country, and they can apply to join the whānau. We will fly to wherever you are, you know, and come and meet you in the whānau and have an interview and see how it's going and all of this sort of stuff. And if you fit the brand, if you fit, you know, if we connect, then we go for it. The future for Māori Motivation We eventually want to have an HQ, like an actual headquarters, where we have all the facilities and we become like an elite high performance academy, where we have all the gear, like the ways of recording, all of that feedback sort of stuff, the top coaches, the top doctors, the top physios, everything, and everybody lives on site. Like, so the 100 athletes that we have a big facility where everyone lives on site. They're there 24 hours a day, just chasing it, just absolutely going for it, you know, and just creating that level of separation between everyone else, all their competitors and all that.